Hello everyone, it's Saturday and welcome to the next edition or the next segment of Talkin Trains. I once again find myself in my vehicle. I'm actually sort of out looking at trains, but I'm off doing something else as well, other things as well. So today's segment of Talkin Trains, we're going to be talking about Tennessee Pass. Now, Tennessee Pass was one of the two crossings of the Rocky Mountains, the Continental Divide out in Colorado, for the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. They had the Tennessee Pass route and they had the Moffat route. Both of these routes crossed, like I said, they crossed the Continental Divide, the Rocky Mountains, out in Colorado. Well, in the 1990s, Union Pacific acquired the Denver and Rio Grande Western trackage. So that was around 1996 that Union Pacific acquired all of the lines owned previously by the Denver and Rio Grande Western. So Union Pacific now finds themselves with two passes over the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So they decided to close the pass that they deemed not really necessary to have. And of the two passes, the Moffat route seemed to be the most logical route to keep open. The Tennessee Pass route was very steep, had a lot of curves, and had a grade topping 3%, which is very steep on a railroad. So now some context here. The Tennessee Pass route ran from Pueblo, Colorado, south of Colorado Springs, to Dot Cerro, Colorado. I'd say about 100 miles east of Grand Junction, give or take 100 miles east of Grand Junction. So anyway, the line from the line from Pueblo to Parkdale was leased to a short line. I think it was called Rock and Rail, and they continued to operate operate trains on that line. And there's also a tourist railroad out of Canyon City that operates excursions. I believe it's called the Royal Gorge Scenic Railroad or something like that. So that portion of the line between Pueblo and Parkdale still sees traffic, but west of that, between Dot Cerro and Parkdale, there's virtually been no trains over that line in the last 20 or so years, with the exception of occasional movements of stored cars on either end of the line, either close to Dot Cerro or close to Parkdale. Last fall, a short line railroad approached Union Pacific, who still owns the line, by the way. They didn't completely abandon the line, they just closed it. A short line approached Union Pacific attempting to buy the line and reactivate service. Now, this particular short line had recently purchased another section of track to the east of Pueblo, between, I can't remember the name of the towns. It was former trackage owned by the Missouri Pacific Railroad, which was another line that the Union Pacific acquired in the early 1980s. So basically, this short line was looking to gain access further west, to create like this 400-mile long route from somewhere in western Kansas all the way to almost the border of Colorado and Utah. Now, nothing has happened yet. Union Pacific has been, according at least to one of the articles that I read, they've been in talk with another potential buyer, which has actually caused this initial buyer, the Colorado Pacific, I just remembered it now. The Colorado Pacific was the name of the railroad that's desiring to buy this line from Union Pacific. They actually, about a month ago, asked something called the Surface Transportation Board to pretty much force Union Pacific to sell the line to them. And like I said, according to Union Pacific, they are in talks with another potential buyer for the line. But for some reason, Colorado Pacific was unable to find any evidence that Union Pacific is looking or is in talk with another buyer. So that's kind of the gist of what's going on with the potential future of this rather well-known pass over the Rocky Mountains. And I gotta say, I visited the northwestern part of this line when I was in Colorado last summer, a town called Minturn, and it's really neat to see, but it's also just neat to see like how much of the line is like just unchanged from when it closed in 1997. Now, there would be substantial track maintenance that would have to go into rehabilitating this line because, you know, a lot of the infrastructure, it's not up to the standards it was, you know, when it was in operation in the 90s. I really would like to see Tennessee Pass open again. I have a couple videos, and I've seen a couple videos of trains operating over that line, and I gotta say, it really looks neat. It looks like a really cool piece of railroad to fan, and I really would hope to see it gain this, at least gain some traffic in the future. As they say on the railroad a lot of times, we really don't know what could happen. You know, this whole thing could fall through. You know, just like, you know, I was thinking about the announcement from the East Broad Top that I talked about last weekend. And I thought, this is such a great thing, but there's always that little bit of hesitation I have in the back of my mind because so many things on the railroad change so quickly. And what's initially announced, like at one point, could change in an instant. And as I'm saying this now, I think that's where I'm going to take next week's episode. There's another restoration project that's happening in an eastern part of the country here that has really been going on for quite a while, and a lot of people are not really sure that it's going to happen, but I'll save that for next time. So that's the gist of what's going on out in Colorado. I have actually just arrived at where I'm supposed to be right now, and I hope I can park my car. But I really hope that you found this episode interesting. I'll put some links below to information about Tennessee Pass, the couple articles that I was able to at least read and use as a way to help you guys know what's going on with this. So I'm really enjoying this series. I'm really hoping to continue this as at least Vlent continues, but also maybe even continue it after Vlent's done. So until next time, take care, God bless, and maybe I'll see you trackside. See ya.